Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful V neckline exaggerated gathered top. As you can see right here, this top really looks very beautiful. You can use your belt for it. It has a waist gathered and is well exaggerated. So you can see different types of it. It can be a V neckline, you can make it a torso neckline. But in this class, I'm going to teach you how to make the V neckline part of it, but the principle remains the same. So here you can see my waist gathers, you can see the V neckline, and actually the dress is really exaggerated. So we actually have a special type of fabric which you are going to use to get this exact effect. So you can see how it looks on me. It's actually looking very beautiful and gorgeous. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn how this top is being manipulated. To begin this tutorial, I'll be making use of this micro machine pleated fabric. If you look at this fabric, you can see there are some little pleats to it and it stretches a little bit. So I'm using only 1.5 yards of this fabric. Just 1.5 yards is enough for this top. So the 1.5 yards of fabric comes at length of 60 inches. So this is the yardage 1.5. I'm putting the 1.5 yards together. So when I put it together, we'll be having less than 1 yard for each part. So this is the open part and this is the length at 60 inches. So I'm going to cut out the folded part, that is separating the 1.5 yards I divided into 2. I just want to cut it off right now. So I'll go ahead and separate it so we have 2 pieces of this fabric. So I'm cutting it off from top to bottom. So after cutting it out, we'll be having 2 pieces of this fabric right now. So I'll pick them up and I'm going to place them on fold. So I'm going to place the yardage part on fold. So I'll just use this one to show you how to place it on fold. So just go ahead and pick it up from the yardage part and fold the length of 60 inches. So when you fold it, you'll be having 30 inches as your length. So I folded one and I'm going to fold the other 2. So now I've folded the both of them and I made sure they are of the same length. So this is what I got right now. So the next thing we are going to do is to place each one on top of the other and take the measurement of the neckline. So from the folded part, I'm going to take 11 inches. So this 11 inches right now, I'm going to make a notch to it. So I placed one of the folded parts on top of the other folded part and measured from the folded part, that is the neckline. I measured 11 inches and I'm going to notch the 11 inches right now. So you just place a notch because we are going to stitch from the knots to close up the center front and the center back. So I notched the both of them right now. So after notching, this is what we got right away. So the next thing we are going to do is to stitch. So when I open it, you can see what I mean. So the folded edge will be at the shoulder and the notched part will be the neckline. So I'm going to open up this fabric right now and place the both of them right side to right side. So if you look at the fabric, you can identify the shiny part of it. So that is the right side. So I placed it right side to the notch. So as you are looking at it now, I just try to put them together at the notches. So just match it together at the notches and then flip it the other way at the wrong side. I'm going to stitch at about 3/4 of an inch, that is 0.75, or you can stitch at 1 inch, but I just stitched at 3/4, 0.75. So you first of all secure it with your pins at your notches, at the notches. So I pinned at each notch because we are going to leave from one notch to the other open, which is the neckline, then stitch downwards from the notch downwards. So make sure you just pin them so you'll be able to get your seam allowances accurately. So I will come from the other notch and I'm going to stitch downwards. So after stitching, this is what I got at as my neckline. You can see the stitches right there. So the next thing we are going to do, I just felt like reducing my neckline for the back. You can leave it this way for front and back anyway. So I'm going to measure 6 inches for the back neckline. You measure 6 inches for the back neckline, only the back neckline. I want the back neckline to be shorter, but if you want both of them to be at 11 inches, no problem. But I just want to have a little control of the shoulder line when I wear it. So I'll just go ahead and stitch close to 6 inches neckline for the back. So after stitching, you can see the neckline for the back is a little bit higher. So I'm going to I'm going to hem the neckline. Then I'm going to also hem the sleeves, the sides. So I'm done hemming the neckline. This is what I got after hemming, and the sides I've also hemmed them. So the next thing we are going to do now is to take the measurement of where we are going to attach the elastic. So I'm going to take my measurement from the shoulder line right now. Make sure you arrange the dress very well. So from the shoulder line, the folded edge, I'm going to take my waistline at 17 inches. So I marked 17 inches. Then from that 17 inches, I took the measurement downwards and I got 12 inches. So I'm going to measure from downwards upwards now. It's easier to measure from 12 inches from the waistline, since that is what is remaining, and mark your waistline. So you are going to chalk that waistline because that is where we are going to place our bias strip to stitch the elastic. So I'm going to mark from one end to the other on one side, and I'll also go over to the other side and also mark my waistline. So after marking on this side, I'll go over to the other side and start marking the same 12 inches. So we are going to gather these parts. So on this other side, I measure 12 inches to 12 inches like that. So right now, after marking our waistline, we are going to cut out the elastic we are going to use for the gathers. So I'm working with my waistline. So you have to divide your waistline by 2. Whatever you have, just count 2 inches off it. So I'm working with waist 36 and I divide by 2 is 18. I took away 2 inches and I have 16 inches. So I'm measuring my elastic at 16 inches. And I'm going to cut out 2 of my elastic. So when taking the measurement of the elastic, please don't stretch it as you take it. Just leave it to be the way it is before you cut out. So here I've cut out 2 pieces of my elastic. So the next thing is to place my bias. So I'm using my bias for this casing. I'm going to open up this bias very well. Just open it up very well and top stitch at the edges. So I'm going to stitch right now here on my machine. I'll place my bias and I'm going to stitch, just open up the bias. You know bias comes on fold, but you are going to just spread it open, okay? Spread it flat so your elastic casing will be enough to take your elastic when you insert it. So I spread it open as you can see right here, and here you can see me stitching my elastic accordingly. My bias top stitching on them. So I'm going to top stitch on both sides as well. So I'll go ahead and top stitch. After top stitching on one end, I'll go over and top stitch on the other end as well. So I'm sewing right on top of the chalk marking. So I stitch right on top of the chalk marking. So I've gradually come to the end of it. So I'm going to cut it out right away. So after stitching on one side, I turn on the other side and I start to stitch again. So at the end of it, this is what we got right now. So the next thing we are going to do right away is to start inserting the elastic. So I'll just go ahead to insert the elastic from the casing. So I use my safety pin and I'm going to put it right in. But as I'm inserting it, before the elastic gets right into the casing, I'll be taking it to the machine to secure it at that edge. So I'll just go and secure it. So after inserting, I secure the both edges and this is what I got for my elastic on the waistline. So I also did the same on the other piece and you can see the neckline at the center right there. So like I earlier said, it's a very simple top and it's gorgeous and beautiful. So I'm going to place it together to sew the sides. So you secure it with your pins at the waistline. Then from the shoulder or the folded part, we are going to take the measurement of 11 inches as your sleeve opening. So I'll just go ahead and mark 11 inches. That is my sleeve opening. And then I'll secure with my pin and stitch half an inch from that point to the end. I'll also do the same, measure 11 inches as my sleeve opening and then stitch. So after stitching, we are done with this project and this is what I came out with. So I believe this dress is very beautiful. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming to this tutorial once again and stay tuned for the next one. So you can see the beautiful top right here. You can use it for any occasion of your choice. Thank you. Bye.